Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Wizard Weekly, where we bring you news and humor from around the spiral. And boy, have we got some news for you. The US release of Wizard 101 has reached over 20 million players. No wonder I can't find a parking space. Yeesh! Kidz released this exciting news last Wednesday, remarking that the number of unique visitors to the Wizard 101 website had grown by almost 200% in the last year. With all these wizards, Kidz seems to have their hands full keeping tabs on them because Professor Greyrose has asked us for our assistance in welcoming new wizards, helping those in distress, and making sure to report bullies and bad mouths in this month's newsletter. Wizard 101 is also celebrating the return of fanfictions to the Wizard 101 website, surprising many including myself. You can now go read the adventures of your fellow witches and wizards, or even create one of your own for submission. If you oftentimes find yourself flittering around the wonderful world of Wizard 101, you can now buy fairy wings to assist with your journey. These colorful creations come in 3 different styles: orange, blue, and purple, and can be purchased temporarily for 2,500 crowns or permanently for 7,500 crowns in the crown shop. While you're there, you may want to pick up your patriotic leprechaun who will be dancing his way out of the spiral in only one more day. Wizard Central is going to be celebrating its own milestone soon, its 3rd birthday. During the month of August, there will be tons of events, contests, and parties to commemorate the creation of this wizarding water cooler, to which so many have gathered. All of them have yet to be announced, so make sure to keep your eyes open for updates. It's a great week for big updates. We've even got some awesome news for you in the Power Pip. The Wizard 101 Central 200th tournament has come to a close. Noob took home the grand prize of 60,000 crowns and the title of champion. Wizard Weekly would like to congratulate all the winners and thank all the participants for being super awesome and making the 200th tournament truly something to remember. If you're on the lookout for something new and exciting, head on over to the Pet Derby forums to sign up for Caspian's Team Pet Derby matches. There's still slots open for all pets of all levels, so get your companions into shape and let the races begin! This week in Better Homes and Gardens, we tour the house of Kidz Crazy, who has transformed his massive fantasy palace into a miniature Hogwarts. As you walk into his home, you're greeted by a rather odd sight. Apparently some flying broomsticks went haywire and were halted with a stupefy spell. They hang in the air, dazed and confused, awaiting collection. Just down the path towards the Forbidden Forest is the Whomping Willow, who's apparently claimed another flying car as its victim. Within the Forbidden Forest is a spooky cave where apparently a few daring students have ventured. Normally they wouldn't have made it past Hagrid's hut, which looks as though it's seen better days. Kidz has created a small corner for himself and his friends, naming it Elf Grove. This little niche is where he goes when he's feeling blue, and where he and his friends often congregate to chatter and laugh with a small army of storm elves. Should anything go awry, you may find yourself in Madame Pomfrey's hospital wing, where she'll have you up and about in a jiff, and it's back to class with you. You can enter Kidz' school via the grand entryway, where students can lounge between classes. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, where you can study under the watchful eye of, whichever teacher we haven't scared off yet, or you can go next door to the astronomy room to study the stars. If you want to seek knowledge back on Earth, you can head down the stairs to the library and grab a good book. Or, if you really want to keep your feet on the ground, you can get your hands dirty in the herbology room, which is right next to the room of requirement. Who needs wands and spells when you've got spears and bobby hats, I say? If you want to tune into the future, you should head to the divinations classroom, where I've thankfully managed to duck Professor Trelawney. That lady's creepy, you know. Not as creepy as Professor Snape, who's hidden his potions classrooms away down a secret passage. After a hard day of classes, you can head to the Great Hall to quaff some pumpkin juice or just relax with your friends. Last but certainly not least is the headmaster's office, where Kidz Crazy can get through his work, deal with unruly students, or kick back with some light reading. So light, in fact, you can levitate on it. Kidz Crazy has really gone above and beyond, using some pretty complex glitching methods to transform this place into something right out of a Harry Potter novel. You guys wrote in with another novel worth of questions this week, so let's dive right in with our first question, which is from Justin. Will KingsIsle ever change the chat filter so there are no combinations that can make bad words? It looks like you've been in the comments just as long as I have. I have to say from my personal experience that KingsIsle's been pretty diligent about maintaining and updating the chat filter, and not long after a new bad word is discovered, it's been covered by the filter. I think a great deal of this has to do with the fact that the wizarding community does a fantastic job of policing their own game, and that KingsIsle takes all the reports very seriously, even if it takes them a while to get to one. On top of this, they've done a fantastic job of not really impeding our ability to chat. Sure, there's that one pet snack, and good luck telling someone that Celestia is on the bottom of the ocean, but other than that, we can chat fairly freely. This filter is what makes Wizard 101 the family-friendly game it is. Parents don't have to worry about their kids listening to anything they wouldn't want them to hear in real life, which is what I believe is a major key to Wizard 101's success. It also encourages better spelling, which, I'm all for. Our next question is from Olivia Shadowblood, who writes in to ask us, what are your thoughts on being able to construct our own houses? I think it would be a fantastic idea, personally. Wizards would be able to make their own unique homes, it would encourage creativity, and it would give us something to go back and farm for, but I don't think we're going to see it just because it would be a real chore to create and code. KingsIsle would have to create different housing segments, assign furniture nodes to each and every one, and then create landscapes on which we could build these houses. It would be a monumental undertaking. That doesn't mean we couldn't see it one day. I mean, I was wrong about the fan fictions, but it would be a project in and of itself, and if we do see it, it'll be a long, long time from now. Selena was thinking about the future because their question is, do you think KingsIsle will continue the Grizzleheim and Wintertusk storyline? I don't know. We did save the spiral from the Everwinter, and we kept your mirror out cold, and it kind of feels like the ending of the story, doesn't it? The thing is, you can't overlook the fact that we didn't actually defeat the Coven. Our featherbrain foes made a run for it at the last second, and they're still out there, and even though it may take them a while to regroup, we could see them in the future. I think KingsIsle did this intentionally so that they can keep the storyline going. Even if it isn't going to be this year or the next year, they could totally re-involve the Coven in the Grizzleheim storyline somewhere in the future. And I think that's what they may end up doing, so don't sell your scarf, your hat, and your mittens just yet. Our last question is from WizKid411, who asks, why can't KingsIsle tell you who reported you and for what? While it would be kind of funny to see some of these reports, especially the false ones, the reason that KingsIsle doesn't tell you is because you really don't need to know. They're protecting the identity of the reporter so there's no negative repercussions in the future, and this sense of anonymity encourages the community to police itself, which keeps Wizard 101 the safe and friendly environment that we've all come to know and love. It would be nice to know why we're reported sometimes, however, KingsIsle's decided for whatever reason not to include this as a feature. And if you've been reported, you probably know what you've done. It doesn't take a degree in rocket science to figure out that even if you see others wizards doing something you know is wrong, it doesn't make it right. If you've been falsely accused, send a message to KingsIsle with the date and time of the false report warning and outline what happened before you were falsely reported. KingsIsle will be able to track down the report ticket to the culprit, and they'll receive a warning. And while you may never know who they were, KingsIsle certainly will. So that's why KingsIsle has decided that we don't need to know who the reporters are. It's to keep Wizard City a friendly place where students are encouraged to help their fellow students by keeping the chat box nice and clean. That's all for this week's Wizard Weekly, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Just a small note, there will be no Wizard Weekly next week as I'll be taking it off to properly fix my computer. I'm not sure how much longer this mallet is going to remain effective, and I'd like to bring you more Wizard Weeklies without having to deal with a half a dozen blue screen of deaths. This will also give me a real chance to make new introduction screens and get some better quality recordings for the series. I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks, happy post 4th of July food coma, and as always, have a wonderful weekend!